Okay, we're at Ruatani for a Marae. Yesterday we spoke with the council and looking at the river, different directions and plans that they have. Ruatanipa was one of the main things that came up, and I asked them what was the plan and how did this place stand in whatever place or in whatever plan they had in store. And they said, oh, that I said, because no matter which plan they have in place, this property or this complex is going to be a casualty. So whether they build stop banks or whether they do the redirection of the river further up, I told them that I wasn't not so much interested. I wasn't looking at supporting them regarding the stop banks that they were proposing down there, because they were trying to deflect the water from the township regardless of what was in this direction. And I said to them, what's that building down there? They said, that's Ruatanipa. I said, well, what are you trying to do? And they said, oh, they're quite happy to move. I said, what? I said, what Marae moves? I said, I've never known a Marae in my life to move. And I says to them, you know, that no matter what they thought about doing the stop banks, that, you know, I wouldn't agree to that regarding all the spin-offs and the outcomes. So we agreed yesterday that the river is going to be changed further upstream, right, quite a way upstream. They're going to change the river so as it heads way over towards that cafeteria, right over by the hill. So the river's going to change and going to go into that direction. So anything else that the council is planning on doing, I said to them, if you don't go with that plan, 98% of the Māoris involved, e.g. all the Maraes, and that we will not agree with anything that you guys propose. We will put our heels in and that's it. I said it's better to deal with a couple of Pākehā landowners over there, go through their land and save the rest of the town. So I said that's the best way to go about it. Now, I was quite interested when he said to me that we have, I don't know whether, I can't recall his exact wording, but he had said that Ruatanipa had been spoken to or something, and they thought that they were quite happy to move. I thought, no. I said something's wrong here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at Ruatanipa from the point of view that that building there has got to move. That's got to, regardless. But I also said to them, I made a suggestion to them that some of the soils that they get from over the other side there, we will look at the soil to see that it's virgin soil so as we can bring it over here. Because one of the questions I asked them, and that was, if they plan to build a stop bank over there, where do you plan to get the materials from? I said, don't go bringing materials from outside into this area without consultation. We need to know where that land or that earth or those boulders or whatever are coming from. You're bringing it in. We don't want other people's radu-radus. So you know, that soil will be getting wet and it'll be draining into people's houses. We don't know that soil. They could bring it from old Urupas. I asked Michelle, how many cemeteries in this immediate area are or will be affected or have been affected? And she said there were 4 that were sort of fairly paramount or may need addressing inside, say, the next 3 to 5 years. So with that in mind, as I said, that's why I says to the council, I don't want them just bringing any lands in or materials in without consultation. We need to know where it's coming from to build those stop banks. So I want to look at Ruatanipa. We're going to put a drone up, not today, but the boys, the camera people here, will put a drone up. They're going to go right around. I want a drone footage from in the river. I want drone footage for the Marae and stuff, for the dining hall where it stands, and you have intention of putting your dining hall here, the understanding for a Marae complex is you do not walk past a dining hall to get to the pai. So if you're planning on moving your dining hall, you must have the dining hall behind or on the other side somehow of your pai. You do not go past the parupaku, you do not go past the dining hall to get to the pai. So have a think about that, guys. If you're planning on putting your dining hall here, not good, because you know that's as far as I say, the setting up of a Marae complex, you don't do that. Because when you got your visitors coming in, they don't want to look at the trucks here backing in to bring the meat in and stuff like that when they're going to address tūpapaku. So all that, consider that. But we're going to have a look at this here. I need to know later on about your situation with your insurances and stuff like that. I had a discussion with the council members yesterday, and they said that they were quite prepared to move your building over to here. I said, well, I'd want that in writing, and I would need to know something concrete about that. I also, as I may have said to you, asked them if they can bring some of that virgin soil and dump it into the river on the other side of that building there, just to try and retain the bank in some way. The other thing I wanted to know, and which I plan on looking at shortly, is what your Urupa is like and whether that's in jeopardy. So the other thing also we need to know is if you need assistance with your insurances, and when this building moves, I think that that's ready to either move or be demolished. What your big plan is, if you have any intention, plan or anything like that, get in touch with Michelle, and we will need to meet at the next meeting that we have. We need to have more information regarding what your intentions are with that. So the other thing also I need to know from you, and try and have that information available by the time we meet again, whether you can find another location other than this place for your dining hall. As I said, preferably at the back, or I don't know who owns this paddock, but even if the dining hall is set back, you can have like a fence so as your visitors go up. I don't know, but you're not supposed to have the dining hall in front of the pai. The pai should have been here, and then the dining hall where this one is standing, where the thing is standing. So yes, we're going to get drone footage all around from the riverside, from this side, from here. I want to look down on the complex, and as I say, all that, once all that has been compiled, that'll all come out in the next meeting as to what we're going to do, and how we can prevent or hope to prevent any flooding in the future. So by the reclamation or the changing of the river course up there, hopefully it's going to eliminate a lot of what's been happening down here. So it's a big task. The council weren't keen, but I said to them, you either go with that or we won't agree. So they're really between, unfortunately, they're between a rock and a hard place. So we went yesterday and we looked at the lands involved that they would need to acquire to change the course of the river, because at this time down there where the showgrounds is, that will always happen. It's like a shore, and the waves are coming, hitting the shore and up and over. So that will always happen. And I said to him, I'm not interested in the 100-year plan or the 500-year once in a lifetime flood. No. We got to look at, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years before the next one. So that's where it's at, and unfortunately nobody can forecast that. So it could be preparing itself to give us another deluge now. We don't know, so we have to be prepared for that. So any intentions, e.g. planning on drawing up plans for your new dining hall, if there's such a thing going to happen, it'd be good to be able to see those plans. So I think if I was you, as a committee, get together and consider that. look at whether you're going to move your dining hall. If you do move your dining hall, what that's going to be like, what the plan is going to be for that, where your paripaku and that is, where your septic is going to be. Where is your septic at the moment?
So there, and over here,
On that side.
and over that side.
So how does it get on? Is it going into the river?
No.
Ah, yeah.
No, we
yeah.
get it.
So it's still working.
Over there.
Still working all right?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Even with all the water and...
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So the reason I asked that question is that way you don't really have to consider, you know, that sort of extra cost. But of course, if you move your dining hall, I would expect from the council a new septic service. So to add to your complex. Yeah. So we'll have a look at that, and I'm going to recommend that happen, that the council look at compensating you guys by moving that building back and setting up, as I say, a new septic service and that sort of stuff. Also, I need to, as I said, look at how your Urupa is and if there's any urgency on that. So other than that, as I said, the only thing left now is if there's any questions from you guys, and to have an understanding with the boys. As I said, I've already told them what footage I want, and then we can go from there. And hopefully at the next hui, Michelle and Nigel will call hui once we have all our findings in place, and hopefully such as yourselves can be present. Okay, because if you miss out on something, whose fault is that? It won't be ours. You've been told. So yeah, so be there and listen, because if there's an avenue we can take to assist you guys, be there. If you're not there, well, we just work on the next place.
Yeah,
I've got a couple of parts.
Yeah?
I've got a couple of parts.
Yeah.
I was brought up over there.
Yeah.
And this gate over there used to be narrow. And our nanny, Tao, used to live over here. She used to say, extend the rat hole. That's what she used to call it. But that's where all the manahuri who came to this marae stopped at their gate. That's where the waharo was.
Yeah.
So I'd ask, would you recommend moving our dining hall to Omana over there? Or building a new one over there?
You're still proud of the pai.
Yeah.
You're still proud of the pai. No good.
Oh, okay.
The first thing, that's where the manuhiri are supposed to wait. They're supposed to wait there, then the first thing they see when they come here is the pai.
Yeah.
They don't want to look around the dining hall to see where the pai is. No. That's not good karma. You should be able to see the tūpapaku lying there when you come. You don't want to be looking past toilets, buses, dining halls. Oh, where's the meeting house? Oh, it's over the back. Yo. You know, think about it. Where's the mana there?
What you're saying, Corey?
Yeah, where's the mana? There's no mana.
Yeah, and I like to bring a question.
Yep.
I like to know who said that we were moving our hall.
Well,
No, those kind of things, because it isn't what it isn't something was said or spoken by another person. I said we weren't doing that. Like, it wasn't a question of this meeting that I went to. Someone said that and I said we weren't doing that. We're still planning on what are we gonna do. Where can we put it? Or are we gonna just re-renovate our parikai? Things like that.
I suggest you go for a new building.
Yeah.
Why play with that one? Why play with the one? Get a new building, okay? I'm going to suggest to the council that you get a new building and all the necessary requirements pertaining to that building. Now, regarding the take and the fact that talk is out there, that your place is going to move, I heard that, and it's on camera, that from the man himself saying, oh, Ruataniwha are quite happy to move. So I said, oh, where did you get that from? I said, where did you get that from? I said, no marae in my lifetime will just move just because. And they said, oh, they've got to move. I said, what do you mean they've got to move? I said, no. I said, something's not right there. I will go and see Ruataniwha myself.
So that's why I went in the hui and I said, tātou will oppose anything that hits the marae or Urupa.
Yeah.
And they knew what that meant. That meant court. We'll take you to court. We'll go in environmental court and we'll fight it.
Yep.
when they showed the stop bank here, okay, it's going right through the marae, it's going through the Urupa, you can't do that. But what I was saying to Katarina is I said, they may compensate you on you wharepai over there.
Yeah,
No marae's
yeah.
moving. So if you get a free, there's change, because that cutting through here is cheaper than anything else they were proposing.
But see, if you go through the history, because Te Rangi Pai Kura bought this pā here, and it's never flooded. And you want to put a stop bank here.
Same with ours. No, he stopped them.
Yeah, I said to them no. I said to them,
to him no anyway.
Yeah.
Down by
That ain't gonna happen.
yeah.
He said that'll watch this place up.
I said to them no.
No, you can't have
I says to them, if you plan on putting a stop bank up and around the showgrounds, they have to compensate Ruataniwha. If you do that, that's on camera, yesterday's meeting. If they put in the stop bank, this place has to be compensated. What I would suggest, and that is, it's just food for thought, what I would suggest is you bring the meeting house here and then the dining hall where the meeting house is. That's what I would suggest if you're out of land, because you don't want to have to go past your church and your kohanga to get to your dining hall. No, you don't have the room. The meeting house is, ideally the meeting house is in the wrong place. Okay, that should be here with the pai looking at the gate. So as when your manuhiri come there, you can have a slight wall of flax or something along there for a little bit of discretion, because you don't want cars going past looking at your veranda. So you can have flax growing along there, the manuhiri wait out there, set up a car park over there somewhere, and have, as I say, flaxes there, so there's a certain amount of privacy for the pai here somewhere, and the dining hall down there. Not the dining hall here, then the pai, no.
So
They don't want to walk past the kitchen to get to the body.
how does that work for all the two pāpaku that laid there in the past, and then we're going to put a wharekai on where the...
Yeah, well, not on the immediate site. Not on the immediate site, because this whole complex needs to be rearranged.
No, I understand.
I think, I think where your kohanga is, that would be a noa place. You know, I could look at the land. I could look at the land once the kohanga is moved, as far as the sanctity of the area there. You can leave the meeting house there, but what you've got to do is find a place on the other side to put the dining hall. And if you're going to build a dining hall, I would suggest build a dining hall, not a car shed. Build a decent size that will take 150 people. You know what I mean? Get it done, because we'll search and try and get putia or whatever we can to try and build that building. Okay? And same with the wharepaku and that, if you can put that on the back of the building, and septic services. And so if you don't want to move the pai, well, that's fine, but some of the other buildings will have to be rearranged, and I need to know who owns this here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we own it.
Yeah, so as a form of alternative, if you can go back that way a wee bit, but do not consider this as a car park, no, or anything. I would leave it as it is and build on that side. Move the kohanga, take it further away. The other thing I wanted to look at as well was your cemetery boundaries and where you plan to go as far as extensions go. Because as I said, I have asked council that they bring some earth here. As I mentioned earlier on in this discussion, I've also said to them, the earth that they dig out of the area that they plan to rechannel the river, we want some of that dirt, because a lot of that dirt, I will look at the, before they start the dig, I will go there and walk that area and see what that ground is like as far as virginity goes. If it's virgin soil, sweet. If there's any areas we don't want, well, then they can take that over there. But if there's any stuff we can use for reclaiming the water, the frontage, and keep the water away, then I'd like some of that soil. So, and as I said, it's the same with the soil that they plan, if they plan to go ahead with that, putting those stop banks in. We want to know where that soil's coming from. So don't just bring it in. So yeah, other than that,
can I
Yep.
question?
Carry on.
So I did, when I first came on board with our trustees, that was my query of our kohanga being where it was. I wasn't happy with it. We spoke to them about moving.
Yep.
Yeah, because I don't think that's, coming from the pai to the kohanga to the Urupa. That was my karo anyway. So they're in the process, we're looking in the process of that with the planning of where they're going to go. And the other thing is, was our marae situation where we're going to put it. Now that you've given me that sort of vision of India, it's all ka pai in that area.
I think if it was me, the questions you've just asked, all I'm going to say to you in reply is taihoa.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Just wait and see, because as I said, looking at this whole complex needs to be restructured. It's all higgledy-piggledy. The whole thing is wrong. It's too strong a word to say it's wrong. But the buildings have been put in the wrong place. It would have originally been the pai, and then you sit on the ground outside and eat your food. Like that. So you do not have a car park here and then the pai there. No. Over there, car park, yes. If we bring soil in, car park, yes. Flaxes, cars behind the flaxes. Flaxes on this side, so your pai is private. Okay, and as you say, if you want to rebuild or leave the pai where it is, that's fine. But we need to know what your boundaries are land-wise. If we have to move the church, we move the church. If we have to move the kohanga, we move the kohanga. So it's all that, and then set the complex up how it should be set up. You're dealing with somebody else's idea here. That's what it is, and things have been just added after. You don't have that there and you're walking past it. As I said, you got the door there, the meter's going in there. The truck is backing in while there are people tangiing. It's not the look we want. So if you had flax there, it hides that. It hides it. You don't want to see the truck backing in someone with a mutton on their back. Whoa. It's not the look. Yeah. So taihoa with any thought and with any plan, we'll sit down and we'll look at how to set this complex up, because for me, looking at all the marae in the area, this one here is the one that I feel that needs addressing the most. And then we're going to, as I say, Takitimu, look at funding for that regarding the Sir James Carroll building and all that type of thing. So other than that, as I say, if you can have guys at the next meeting, please be there, because if you're not there, you're only going to get second-hand information, which is no good, and Michelle will keep you up to speed as to when that meeting will take place.
Well, I'll try
Okay.
and get the owner of this there.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll try and get the owner.
Yes, yeah. Because if we need to spread out a little bit, even if it's only 2 meters, 3 meters, if we need to spread out a little bit, because if we need to move the septic services, or we may need to have that extra bit of space.
The Urupa is still in our nanny's name. This reservation here, our whānau gifted 2 acres, but it stretches right down there, the boundaries.
Yep.
We can get all that information for you.
Yeah.
But we've always talked about extending over in here into whānau land.
Yeah.
The chap who, I'll try and get him to the meeting. He's
Yeah.
better off to come and hear it for himself and not...
Yeah, no mind second-hand information, because that's where all the bullshit starts. It's when you get the second-hand information. Like you're saying, who said, me te mea.
It's not.
Yeah.
So much their focus is on Takitimu and Tawhiti Marae. Rightly so, they've got the mud and the rat thing in it. But this has been affected too. It's just that because it's still standing, they're not looking at it. So what it is, through this, we turn the focus, like how Papawhai, they're not really talking about Papawhai when I go, well, what do you do with that? Those 3 houses got knocked out. So, and the Urupa is still in trouble. So it's about turning their focus. And even though the water didn't come up here, it has impacted on this thing. So it should be part of the flood recovery.
Yes, it is.
That's how we spin it. And it always, because I said, Katarina, maybe you could get a new wharekai out of this, so that we can get the same help that the other 2 marae are getting, so that a new wharekoa is in the plan. In the meantime, you
Well,
still got one.
I understand
Yeah.
what Martu was saying about the impact that's going to happen if they divert it up.
Yeah, totally,
But he
totally.
was saying
Totally.
no stopping. So he said you'll take
I'm going to use historical situations as well in the argument. You know, historical situations and any desecration of Urupa or anything like that, you know. It's not just Gabriel and tomorrow. It's what happened in the past, coming up to this point and how we got here. As I say, they're quite happy to tell us, oh, we're going to build a stop bank, but we're going to move Ruataniwha.
And they didn't need to in the end. They said if they do that one, they don't need to stop.
Yeah,
They don't
that's
have
what
to.
they're
That's
doing.
what I said to them.
They're making all these proposals. I went to the HBRC World District Council and the Environmental Hui last week
Right.
in town, and they're making up things, but they can't even provide historical data on these sort of
Changing.
situations. When Gabrielle happened, I asked them, have you got the data? They got none. The council doesn't have none. Hawke's Bay Regional Council doesn't have any. So they're coming to us, but they're trying to put these proposals out to us and trying to make us accept, like what you just said, oh, put a stop bank up there, but you've already told them no. We're telling them the same thing, no.
Yeah, because 98% of these people, if I use the word these said learned people, they don't live here. They don't know. They're just, because I asked him yesterday when I looked at some of the graphs that were presented up on the TV screen, I said, who put this together? And I said, you're supposed to be learned people and yet you put this together? I said, I'm a layman, I can see the faults here. There are holes in what you're presenting. Somebody was paid 130,000 to do that.
That's right.
And me just come in on a koha sort of thing, and I'm looking and say, whoa, there's a problem here. Whoa, yeah, oh, we've already thought about that, and yes, there will be a problem if we use that one. I said, well, who put this together?
Yeah.
Why are you presenting it? You know, and then I just said, right, this is what we want done. We'll change it, we're going to do this. Okay, you're happy with that? This is him to me. I said, yes, that's what we want. I said, you're not going to get the agreement of the people. I said, I'll just say to the people, don't agree. As far as the stop banks and that go. I said, you change the river course and then you can put up a few stop banks, but only little ones, not giant ones. I said, all you're putting is a band-aid. I said, it's not going to stop anything. I said, if it does, this place is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's exactly what I said at the hui too, at our hui about that in regards of, you don't know unless you live here.
Yeah.
You don't live
Yeah.
here, then you're coming with all the scientific thing that we won't even understand.
Yeah.
Like I've been here when that flood happened. I was down there and watched the flow. I thought over there took a lot of it.
Leave the understanding to us.
Yeah. That's right.
We can understand their kaupapa.
So some of the people sitting in the committee, that lady said it was shabby houses and uninsured houses anyway. And like, what did you say?
Yeah.
But you know,
that kind of.
never even been over here.
But I know where you're
Can't
coming
see
from,
the
though.
Hurunga
Yeah,
is lower
come
than
from.
us. It's 9 metres
Someone
lower.
can hear it.
Yeah.
We don't even make a big thing out of it when you can just tell him.
So we can, that's
Yeah.
what we're here for. And like, just take it. Don't get anything. Can we get a free
That's it in there. Is the Marae insured?
No, it's not insured. It's we're doing cleaning at the moment. We're just waiting for this. Actually, we could look in that way of funding and that, because we're in the process. We had a hui the other night, about planning on structuring where we're going to do, what we're going to do. But it's just sitting there. So I'll wait till you come back with some goodness, and then we can,
Any proposal, understanding and or boundaries regarding property. Because what we need to do, we need to look at what property is available and how we can restructure this complex. Okay? Because as I said, everything's wrong. So, wow, that's strong word. But in layman's terms, it's wrong. It's set up wrong. So we'll look at that. And as far as the insurance goes, well, stand in line.
most of our
Everybody else is pretty much uninsured in most of the homes. Because I myself personally, I mean, I live in TK. We got hammered just as badly. The water at my house was about that deep. So so we were hit by that same Gabriel. So so we too are in the process. But wait and see what happens, and we have people like Nigel that can help, e.g. funding and all the different sources that are out there. So,
With the
yeah,
recommendations we make, and in the end I agree with all together, is the recommendations we make in the cultural assessment,
yes,
I'll word it that way.
yes,
That this marae has been impacted.
Yep.
It mightn't have got the water through it, but it's been impacted, and so
I can show
so
you can-
part of that needs to be that they need help to relocate their buildings or their new buildings.
Because as I say, it's not just Gabriel, it's other historical situations. The river itself, and over the years what's been happening, and that's a concrete based building and stuff like that. So it's all not helping, if you understand what I mean. So what were you saying about over the years?
Oh, Cyclone Bowler. So before Kasei, we used to be able to walk quite a bit out, and Cyclone Bowler, when all the logs come, hit it, hammered it, and all of that, and it slipped, and we are to how we are now. So
Don't get me wrong, I don't want to talk like I'm a racist, but there's a Pākehā up the river, and I put it to the council the other day, did he have consent to put in a levy?
Yeah, they're still
He's put a levy in, be a K long, and he's been directing the river flow.
Yeah.
Prior to that, his family, his father, that used to be the old wide or metal pit. So he's gouged out the
Gouged
river,
it out.
and the water's been coming at a rate of knots down there, and hitting the corner at the showgrounds, eating it away all the way around here.
And here.
Those homes were a long way from the riverbank. You walk outside Wayne Mackenzie's back door, here's the river.
Yeah.
So it's been chewing out, and I asked them, did he have consent to do that 30 years ago? And they were going, why is that? This is HBRC. And they go, why is that? And because you agreed to it. He has to get consent from you, so you're part of the problem. You fellas fix your problem. Take the levy out, because our people knew what they were doing. The water used to recede back in their flood.
went
One
under
part
its
here,
wetland.
it'll recede back in there, and the flow wouldn't be as strong, and it'll come around, and then when it goes down, it comes back off that land. And I said, I'd rather see one Pākehā get flooded than this place, 26
That's right.
families over here.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But as I say, the redirection of the river is further up,
Yeah.
past him, quite a way up past him,
Yeah.
where we plan to have it swerve across down towards that. Yeah.
sounds better.
Yeah. So
That up, they put it in the-
Yeah.
they talked about it, so they said it was built in the 80s. It was there before Cyclone Bowler. And I go, well, I got the readings on the LiDAR. This is 9 metres above Urupa, or the
Yeah.
other land across there, and that's 10 metres above. So it's
Yeah.
making the water move up to the corner. It's heightening it, and that's what I reckon. This is what started happening after that.
Yeah.
But since the 80s, hey, because that
Yeah.
wasn't as bad before.
I seen more water from the bowler over that side than I did see on our side. That's what we.
It's still floods.
Yeah, it was heaps on that side.
It's guiding.
I think it was more water
Yeah.
too, more water that came.
And if you look at Mātiti, they had to move the bodies because, and then I'm going, oh, is it anything to do with that illegal stop back over there? They said to us in the hui, no, we're leaving that there, that's nothing to do with it. And I said, but you're saying to me that's the natural flow of the river, so if that takes some of the pressure off the corner, won't that help? They don't want to.
I don't think no matter what we were putting in there, it keep getting directed over here.
yeah.
And if it hits here, it's going to go straight to
Yeah,
Urupa.
all of us.
Yeah,
They'll hit us
yeah.
too, 'cause this
Yeah,
thing
oh,
is
yeah.
high.
Yeah.
They'll hit it and make
Yeah.
us see.
It was the exit parts I didn't like, where it was going up.
Yeah, because they kept on pushing the one that went across. And he just made it one over there.
By rediverting the river, it'll take the volume and the urgency of the flow somewhere else. It won't bring the urgency of the flow down to the town. It'll take it over there, hit that hill over there, and then it'll slow it down by the time it gets to the town. You know, it'll slow it down. But I did say to the council that they need to consider looking at the river mouth, whether they blow it once a month or something like that. Open that mouth up, let the water out. Because this river, I'm picking that the river itself isn't that deep. It's the crap that's in there that's being allowed to build up. And then when she floods, it explodes because there's no depth. You look at some of those rivers, I don't know how many of you have been up to Tairāwhiti there, and you go look along Tolaga and that, those rivers are deeper than this tree. they're big, deep ravines because they're whoosh, they're moving all the time. And even though we have a lot of slash and forestry runoff, that is actually quite good. It's almost like a real good bowel movement, and it's pushing all the slash, and that's taking all the rubbish with it, and it all sort of disgorges out, and on the beach and stuff. But it keeps the rivers clean. The rivers are always clean. You can see the bottoms of the rivers, and it's quite deep. As I said, you could drop that tree in some of the rivers, and when the water is there in summer, Ian, the water's only about that deep, and yet you've got a ravine as deep as that. And when she's in full flight, that's gone completely under the water. But that's what it is. And you guys, unfortunately, as I say, we stood up there at the showgrounds and we looked down at the creek. I was taking note. There was a bit of stick about this long lying in the water, and it moved a little bit this way, then it went back again, and I thought, whoa, this is a river. What's it doing? You know what I mean? This should be an estuary. It was acting like an estuary, and then all of a sudden, who was it? You said, oh, the tide must be, what's the tide doing? Because the stick then started to make some sort of a movement down towards the sea, because the tide must have been on its way out or something, and so the water started to move. So yes, I did suggest to the council that they look at opening that mouth every so often, even if it's blowing, just to let the water out and then let it build itself up again, then blow it again. If they have to, either that or put a digger down there or something.
Yeah, something there. We spoke about that too, having something there all the time, mate, to make sure it's open. Because twice they've let us fail. They failed us. We could have had our town flooded. Had our locals doing it. It wasn't Hawke's Regional there doing the work. So yeah, we had our own local people going.
It was
down
Hawke's Bay Regional we were wooing with yesterday.
Yeah, I think they all cleaned. Yeah, they've got a lot of mess to clean.
So, anything else need to be discussed? Nothing you're unsure about, or? Don't go making any plans regarding this complex. We will look at a whole new plan for the entire place, and then we'll have a look, because I did say to them that they can put a secondary stop bank in there, but not the one they were planning. Okay? Because I said to them there will be a degree of overflow, but not as urgent as it has been. So by allowing them to do that, that gives us clout to be able to apply to them for funding here. There's method in the madness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if I had to say to them, take away the flood bank, we can't go to them for Putia. But by allowing the flood bank, they've got to come to the party with the Putia. If they want the flood bank, come to the party. If you don't want the flood bank, we can't apply. So even if it's a percentage, even if it's machinery for the use of, you know what I mean? Something from them. So yeah, so we'll see what happens, but have your people available at the next hui that Nigel and Michelle call, and any other people in relation to these urupas that are in jeopardy. I also want to meet with the people from what is it, Takitimu, and any other places that may need a little bit of e.g. clout or something, you know, just a bit of mana behind their kaupapa. So any other? How close are your closest? Are those ones there?
These ones,
Any unmarks?
yeah, they were.
I mean, hey?
You're the one that marked.
They're around the bend.
They're around the
Yes.
side over there.
Yes, yes.
And there's quite a few over, just over.
Yeah, yeah,
Like a big pit.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Actually, we're the pine trees because that's where the waka apparently needs to come up. So it's cold.
Yeah, I need to, as I say, the drone, where are you boys?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
there. When the drone flies over, as I said, go along the river, come up over those pines, hover above the cemetery, out over the church, go over the cornfield, go over out to the road, sit out at the road, look back at the complex, go out over the river here and then look back at the complex, go down along the edge of the river, you understand what I mean, the edge of the bank, go down over there below the dining hall, then come up by the dining hall, go over the dining hall and use your brain. You understand what I mean? Anything that you think that I can use or we can use, do so, because there'll be no reenactments. It'll have to be whatever you present. So if you get it wrong, I'll throw my stick at you.
That's all right.
Yeah. So yeah, and but other than that, I think we've pretty much dealt with this. I was going to look at the dining hall, but yeah, no, I don't need to look at it because, as I say, for me, it's got to go.
Years back, you were spring here.
Yeah.
So, can you just have a look at that too?
What do you mean a spring? For what purpose?
Well,
Oh yeah.
we spoke about it.
Is it there somewhere that you?
No, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There are people who do know that.
Yeah. Now, where this here is perfect for your dining hall because it's behind the meeting house. Okay, it's behind the meeting house because no building should be proud of the paipai. That's the Māori law, L-O-R-E. You should not pass any complex to get to the paipai. That's Māori law. So anything else after that, nothing is supposed to take your attention but the paipai. That's what you're coming to look at. You're coming to look at what's lying on the paipai and the paipai. As I say, you don't want to look at a beast being unloaded and someone dropping it on the ground. Everyone goes, whoa, look at their meat. You know, as they're heading in. You don't want that. Yeah, so, but you know, there's so many maraes that I've been to and looked at where they have to change their format or their layout. So where that building is standing, that building can be lifted. It's a modern building and moved away. You know, even that one, if you wanted to move it, it could possibly be over there, but behind flaxes or other things. It's not to be visible. Yeah, or even back in the cornfield. You know, so yeah, it's not to be proud. So your dining hall can be there sideways if you want. Put a veranda along this side. And your wharepaku must always be at the back. Where's your hangi hole?
On the river bank, just off the river bank.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, same thing. See, you'd have to find a new place for your hangi hole. It should not be in front of the paipai or looking at it before the paipai. You shouldn't be like that. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what it is and that's how it is. But as I say, once the drone footage and that comes back, and we look at it at the next hui, and then we'll go from there. Okay? So you're now up to speed regarding the hui yesterday with the council. We had a talk with them. We spent most of the day with them. We drove around, looked at these places and all the rest of it. Same discussion more or less went down as we're having now. I'm not saying lay it on the line for them, okay, you guys, this is the best way to go. If you don't go that way, I'm not saying you're holding them to ransom. No, I won't say that. I'm not allowed to say that. But it's a case of, it's better for them to do that than have Wairo digging their heels in and say, nah, you know, bugger off. We're not interested. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, I think you pretty much answered. And as I say, once, yeah, once we, I won't say I've read your mind already. Yeah, we'll, as I say, once we sit down for the next hui, but any other committees that need to be at the hui next time, for goodness sake, get them there, because I don't want to be dealing with people that's saying, oh, bae or bro. I don't want that. You knew that there's a hui. Be there. If you want to be part of that hui, be there. Eh?
Have it here. So that
Yeah.
We can have it anywhere we want to have it.
we're looking at
Yeah. We can,
it's placed in a target angle.
yeah, have it anywhere you want to have it. So
Up, or you-